Cardano's on a tear! Hello and welcome back to the weekly crypto review. So let's get right to it because I've got a lot to go over. First off, down in the description you're going to see a link to the Brave browser. Brave browser is a browser that runs on crypto, runs on the BAT token. If you download from my link and you use your browser for 30 days, you're going to be brought into the crypto ecosystem. You have the opportunity to earn BAT by looking at advertisements in your browser. If you don't want to, you can skip all the advertisements. But if you use the Brave browser for a month, I get some BAT in return for turning you onto it. Also, I don't want to forget, if you like what you see here, like, subscribe, share, like especially. Just go up, click that like button, because what I'm told is that is probably the #1 factor in growing a channel. So let's see what we got here. First off, let's look at this. So we're looking at the list of cryptos, and I want you to notice that Cardano here is number 8. It's in the top 10. And it's well into the top 10. Last time I was up here, I want to say Cardano was 10 or 11, and it was going back and forth between 10 and 11. Well, it's now solidly in the top 10 at 9 cents a coin. I bought Cardano at 12 cents a coin 3 years ago, back in 2017. One of the things I am really glad to see is over the last 7 days, Cardano's gone up to over 21%. Now, I want to point out that as a long-term swing trader, 7-day cycle really doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It really doesn't. But in this case, because of what we have seen this week, this is actually very good news. Cardano's up 21%, and the reason it's up 21% is because this week they went from the Byron testnet to the Shelley mainnet. And what that means is the Shelley mainnet is their decentralized operations. It's their decentralized proof of stake. Up until this point, Cardano has been a relatively centralized platform because, as with most cryptos, it's easier to maintain the code and test it and make sure everything works if it's centralized. Once the code works, once you know everything's working properly, now you can take it, and this has always been part of the plan. Now you can take it and you can decentralize it so that it is on its own and you no longer have control over it. That is the beauty of Bitcoin. No one has control over it. The government can't go to Satoshi Nakamoto and say, we're going to throw you in jail for 40 to life if you don't stop it. One, they don't know who Satoshi is, and even if they did, there's nothing he could do about it. At this point, Bitcoin is its own thing. Well, the Cardano is doing the same thing now. They're decentralizing their process, their proof of work. They are really the very first coin to do a decentralized proof of work that really works. Because one of the biggest issues with proof of work, I'm sorry, not proof of stake. I was saying proof of work, I meant proof of stake. The problem with proof of stake that I have been trying to get answers to, especially where Ethereum is concerned. The idea of proof of stake is that those people or pools that have the most asset, so in this case, let's use Ethereum as the example. So with proof of work, because Ethereum is the one who introduced the idea of proof of stake. I'm going to continue saying proof of work. I mean proof of stake. So Ethereum introduced the idea of proof of stake. And the idea was that the individuals or pools that had the most Ethereum would be the ones who created the next block. They had the best opportunity at creating the next block. Okay? Sounds fine, except that what happens when one person or one pool has so much more Ethereum above the next contender that they're creating all these blocks? Doesn't that necessarily centralize your network? And I have yet to have anyone be able to explain to me how Ethereum is going to solve that problem. In fact, Vitalik just recently put out I think it was a tweet saying the road to 2.0, which is their version of decentralized proof of stake, is going to be long and arduous. So he's getting his community prepared for a probably months at least, long journey towards Ethereum 2.0. On the other hand, Cardano already has their distributed proof of stake out in the wild, and it's being run now. So, yeah, you'll hear people talk about Cardano being an Ethereum killer. I don't know that that's the case. An Ethereum competitor? Absolutely. And basically, the way Cardano does this, and originally my thought was, well, once they solve this problem, every other proof of stake chain out there could use it. And that makes them valuable because everybody else is using it. Well, they can't use the actual code, and that was never my thought or intention. But they can certainly use the premise. And the premise is this. Let's assume that you've got 3 pools of stakeholders. Okay? So they are gathering assets. They are building their assets because they want to have as much of the assets as possible, so that they are guaranteed of the most possible chances to create the next block on the chain. This is the whole point. It's the incentive. Because by creating the next block on the chain, you get some asset back, just like Bitcoin. You create that next block, you get the Bitcoin reward. Well, same thing happens with the proof of stake. You get a reward, plus you get all of the fees for all the transactions in the block that you create. So it's profitable to create that next block. Now, what Cardano has done is they've said, okay, that's fine and good up to a certain point. And at this point, which I'm not aware, I don't know what that point is. I don't know that anyone outside of the Cardano dev team knows. But at this certain point, this certain amount of asset, the certain amount of ADA, once you reach this point that you've got this amount of ADA, now if you go above it, even by 1 coin, or even by 0.000001 ADA, it reduces your chances of getting that next block to create. Okay? So what this does is it puts a cap on the amount of ADA that any pool or individual can attain and have the maximum possibility of creating the next block and getting the rewards. What this does is it incentivizes people, or it incentivizes this individual or pool to stop allowing new people to come in, and possibly incentivizes them to drop a few people here or there so that they are right at or just below that border, that boundary line. Now these people who cannot get into this stake that has been getting most of the blocks, they have to go somewhere else. They have to go to another, they either have to create their own pool or go to another pool and get into it and help build it up to the point where it now is equal to this pool and no higher, because again, if they go higher, their chances of getting the next block are decreased. And so what we're going to see is we're going to see a bunch of pools, because staking has become a thing. Staking crypto has taken the industry by storm. It's found money. It really is. You are the bank, and people are paying you interest. And you're not, certainly with Cardano, you're not really lending your money out. You're simply backing a node that is capable of creating the next block. You get to keep your entire amount, and you don't even have to freeze it. You can sell it at any time. This is really a valuable asset to Cardano. Nobody else is doing this. One of the reasons why I think Cardano is going to go way up in price is because they have been extremely inventive in what and how they're doing things. So as opposed to all the other cryptos, EOS, for example, I've got, 500 EOS. It's all locked up. It's staked. I'm making a little bit of money, but I can't spend that EOS. It's going to take me up to 3 days to unfreeze that EOS so that I can spend it or convert it to another crypto. With Cardano, they have 2 keys. You've got your master key and you've got your staking key. Well, your staking key is different than your master key, your private key. So you can spend Cardano while you've got it staked, and it automatically keeps track of that. And if you're spending it or you're converting it to something else, you're of course not going. You're going to drop the amount you have. You're not going to make as much on your staking income, but that's okay. So yeah, this is really interesting. This is really impressive. The other thing that's going on is that Coinbase has added Cardano to its list of custody cryptos. You can't buy Cardano on Coinbase yet, but with all the other coins that they have put into their custody service, they have all been listed on Coinbase within about 6 to 8 months. So probably by the end of the year, Cardano will most likely be available to buy directly from Coinbase. This is good because Coinbase is probably the number one place for newbies to come in and buy crypto. And as we saw back in 2017, when the price of Bitcoin was up at $10,000, $15,000 especially, people would come in, they would look at this $10,000 or $15,000 asset, not realizing that you don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin, because let's face it, everybody assumes that you have to buy a whole one. Well, I don't have $10,000 or $15,000. I've got $5,000. I can't buy a Bitcoin. So what are they going to do? They're going to buy another asset that is going to cost them less. And they're going to tend to go for the asset that costs the least amount. Well, Cardano at this point is 8 cents a coin. Where are they going to put their money? And what's that going to do to the price of Cardano? It's going to push it up. So hold on to your hats. If you have Cardano, and as always, none of this is advice of any kind. Not financial, not trading, nothing. If you've listened to me, you'll lose all your money. Do your own research. But the way I'm looking at this, I see Cardano jumping up massively in price. And it already has. I mean, we look at Cardano over the last couple of months. We're looking up from March all the way to today. Since March, it's done nothing but gone up. Yeah, we had a couple of down weeks, which is normal. We expect that. And I fully expect, because if we look at this week, we've got the RSI down here at the bottom at 73.22. So it's above that 70 point mark, which means that it's oversold. It's way oversold. If it goes above 70, it's way oversold. I fully expect that we're going to have a sell-off, not a massive one, but I expect the price to drop and drop that RSI back down to something more reasonable. I would love to see an oscillation between 70 and 30 on that RSI, because again, not advice, but if I have the opportunity to buy, I'm going to do so when it's down at or below 30. At 70, if I was going to sell, this is where I would sell. This is typically near a peak, not the peak, but a peak. So I fully expect price of Cardano to drop. So this could very well become a buying opportunity, a chance to buy the dip. I'm looking forward to buying the dip. Again, I bought in originally at 12 cents a coin. I have been buying the dip since 2018. So for me, my initial purchase was above where it has been since then. So I have been buying the dip ever since. You have to decide what you want to do, what you need to do. Anyway, so I'm really excited about what I'm seeing with Cardano. I know you have seen me talk about Cardano in the past. It is one of those cryptos that I see really good things coming from. I like what I see. I like everything that I see coming out of Cardano. I can't say that about a lot of cryptos. Cardano is one of the few that I really can say that about. It is run by people who know what they're doing. Let's face it, Charles Hoskinson was a developer on Bitcoin. He was one of the founders of Ethereum, and he is the lead and founder of Cardano. He knows what he's doing, and that experience has taught him a whole lot. It's taught him what not to do, and that is impressive. He and his group are doing a really impressive job. So that's what I've got for you this week. So remember, don't trust, verify. I'll see you next week.